Hey guys, it's your boy Ezri. This video was pretty late. I was supposed to come out with this sooner, but I've been preoccupied with other stuff. Been rocking here in Vegas, filming this from my hotel room at the Luxor. As you all know, we have an upcoming game today against the Raiders. Now, we have some history with this team. I'm sure you all remember when the Eagles went to our first Super Bowl in 1980. We lost 27 to 10 against the Raiders, although that was the Oakland Raiders. These are the Las Vegas Raiders. It's really a shame because they had that big win over Dallas in the NFC Championship after just years of getting dominated by Tom Landry. They did all that beating the Cowboys, and it's a shame that they lost the Super Bowl. I feel like they put so much energy into that Dallas game. They put so much passion into beating the Cowboys that they just didn't have anything left for the Raiders in the Super Bowl. But that's the past. Now let's talk about the present. So the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders today. This game is kind of like that Panthers game a few weeks back when we were sitting at 1-3. This is as close to a must-win as possible. If you want any hopes of salvaging this season, you got to beat the Raiders. You're 2-4 right now. If you're 2-5, then you could climb back from that with this remaining schedule, but you just really don't want to hit 2-5. But I feel good about this game. I feel good about this game for several reasons, and I'll start why. So, the Las Vegas Raiders, as we all know, John Gruden is no longer their head coach. He resigned after all those incriminating emails came out. And this guy was a very popular coach. He was very beloved among these players. And I truly believe that this team, having lost their coach who they really loved, is going to be in disarray for the rest of the year. I think that this team won't be in focus. I think that this team is going to just going to be off for the rest of the year after all this turmoil with Gruden. I really think that this team doesn't have the focus that they had when they were 3-0. So I know that they had that nice win over the Broncos last week in Denver, but the Broncos aren't really that good. Come on. Like they were 3-0 because they were beating bad teams. The Giants, the Jaguars, the Jets. 3-0. It's easy to go 3-0 when you're playing them. They did what they were supposed to do. They beat a bad team on a schedule that they didn't choose to play the schedule. They did what the league handed to them. They played a bad team and they took care of business. But Denver isn't that good. So the Vegas Raiders, I don't think that they're going to be focused because of how they lost their head coach. This team isn't that good at getting to the quarterback. Their pass rush is basically non-existent. And that's huge because Jalen Hurts, he's going to need a lot of time to throw because Jalen Hurts is coming off of 2 bad games in a row. He was bad in that win against the Panthers, and he was terrible in that loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is coming off 2 straight games where he just did not look good, and he's really due for a bounce-back game today. He's really due for a response to all these haters, all these people who want Deshaun Watson, who I continue to stress, he does not want to come to Philly. He refuses to waive his no-trade clause. He's not coming to Philly, guys. He's not coming. So Jalen Hurts, he's going to need a really big game today. I really want you to silence these doubters after your 2 bad performances. Like, when you're in turmoil, Hurts, when you're in doubt, when you're embattled, like, rise up to the occasion, man. You got the mental fortitude to get it done. We just need to see consistency. I've seen flashes of greatness. I always go back to that Cardinals game last year. Jalen Hurts can be a great quarterback. He's young. He's raw. I'm expecting to see these growing pains with him, but I'm willing to just grow. I'm willing to just watch this guy develop. I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm even willing to stick by him after this season because this quarterback class of 2022, it's not good. Spencer Rattler looks terrible. He's probably going to transfer. There's no quarterback in this upcoming draft that I would rather want over Jalen Hurts. All right, so I'm not expecting much out of this Raiders pass rush. Jalen Hurts should have a pretty clean pocket. And another thing, camera's shifting. Another thing is that the Eagles, all right, so as we all know, this whole season, it's been pretty defined by how we refuse to run the ball. For some reason, Nick Sirianni, he will not run the ball. It's a continuation of what we had last year with Doug Peterson. I'm wondering week after week, why aren't we running the ball? Why? And the way I see it today, Nick Sirianni, he has to know that this is a problem. He has to know that he has to run the ball more. He has to know that he has to use Miles Sanders. Everybody's literally saying it. Everybody is saying it. Literally, last week after we lost to the Buccaneers, as Devonta Smith is walking back to the locker room, I thought I lip read him saying, we got to run the dang ball. Like, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Nick Sirianni, you have to know it. You have to know it, Nick Sirianni. You gave him 2 carries against the Cowboys. You gave him 7 carries against the Chiefs, And last week, I think you gave him 9 carries against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have a really good run defense. I wasn't expecting us to run the ball well in that game, but you got to give him the ball more. 9 carries is not enough. He did give him 11 carries against the Panthers 2 weeks ago. That's better than what we've been seeing. But my thing is, you gave him 15 carries against the Falcons in week 1. In that game, the play calling was amazing. You balanced it out perfectly. You ran the ball as much as you had to. You passed the ball as much as you had to. I've seen you call a good game, Nick Sirianni. I know that you're capable of doing it. I know that you're capable of calling a good game. You did it in week 1 against the Falcons. I keep saying this. That Falcons game, I loved your play calling. 15 carries, that was good. I like that you gave Miles Sanders 15 carries. Get back to that. Balance the offense. I'm telling you this, there's no way that we're not going to run the ball today because honestly, if Nick Sirianni goes another game where he doesn't run the ball, if he goes another game where he neglects Miles Sanders, he's really going to lose this team because I don't see how you have everybody saying that you got to run the ball more. Literally everybody around the corner is saying it. And then if you don't do it, I don't think that Nick Sirianni can recover if he doesn't run the ball today. I really don't think so. I just don't think so. Now the Raiders defense, they're the middle of the pack. They're not terrible, but they're not that great either. I think that we could ball out on this defense. We got explosive weapons and Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins, and what else was I gonna say? So yeah, anyway, the Raiders are a weird team. The Raiders have a tendency to start out slow this year. They start out very slow in these games, and that is a perfect opportunity for us to just really get some momentum because we've been kind of one of those teams too. Last week, we trailed 28-7 against the Buccaneers before we rallied to lose 28-22. It's still a loss, but I like the fight that I saw. I like the resistance I saw near the end of that game. So when you're facing a fellow slow-starting team in the Las Vegas Raiders, you really got to capitalize on their sluggishness as well to really get a nice head start over this team. Now, let me get into what I'm scared about this game. Josh Jacobs terrifies me. He terrifies me because, as you all know, we cannot stop the run. This defense is so terrible against the run. I don't know what Jonathan Gannon is doing, but any team can run the ball against us. A refrigerator could get 100 yards against our defense. Leonard Fournette, he killed us. The Panthers running back that was filling in for relief of Christian McCaffrey, their backup who was filling in for McCaffrey, he had a good game against us. Before that, the Chiefs, a team that doesn't even run the ball like that, a passing team was killing us. The Cowboys, of course, they're a run team. Zeke and Pollard, they killed us. We cannot stop the run. So Josh Jacobs, he could be a very big problem for us. So we really got to step up. Leonard Fournette last week, I forgot to mention. Wait, did I mention him? Oh, whatever. So Josh Jacobs, he terrifies me because that dude is a stud. Josh Jacobs is very good. He is a very good running back. So that matchup worries me. That matchup really worries me. Now, I did hear that Darren Waller might not play in this game. I'm not sure about what the updates on that are. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not, but if he doesn't, that's pretty big for us because he's a pretty big part of that offense. He's one of Derek Carr's favorite targets. And speaking of Derek Carr, he's another one of those quarterbacks where you really get pressure on him. He folds. You saw him on Monday night against the Chargers. When they got pressure on him, he wasn't able to do much. Derek Carr, he can fold. We got to get pressure on him. I want the defensive line to return today. I want them to return because last week against the Buccaneers, there was no pressure. Tom Brady had all day to throw. He even scrambled. I think for the game-winning third down where they sealed the game, he scrambled and he found Antonio Brown. There was no pressure against Tom Brady in that game. The defensive line was basically non-existent. And the week before, they played an amazing game in Carolina. They made Sam Darnold run for his life. They had how many sacks on him? How many sacks did they have on Sam Darnold? I think 3 times. Sam Darnold was under constant duress in that game, and that was a big portion of why we beat the Panthers. That was a big portion of that upset. We need pressure on Derek Carr today. Don't be like this Buccaneers game last week. Don't be like that game where you're not getting any pressure and you're giving Derek Carr all this time to throw because he has been efficient this year. Derek Carr is having a decent season. He's having a decent season. Let's not get it twisted. Derek Carr has been very good this year. So I'm feeling very confident about this game. the Eagles. They're at 2-4. This is a game that you have to win. You really have to win. Our schedule is we probably have the easiest remaining schedule in the league, but you still don't want to be 2-5. This is a must-win game for all things considered. It's a must-win game. It's a must-win game, and they could beat this team. You're playing the Raiders without their head coach, John Gruden. They have an interim head coach, and this team is vulnerable. This is a vulnerable team. I like I said, they beat the Broncos last week. They had that nice win over the division rival Broncos in Denver, but I'm still not sold on the Raiders. I'm still not sold on them. They can be had. This team can be had. And Nick Sirianni, please run the ball. You have to know it. You just got to know that you have to run the ball more. You got 7 carries, 2 carries, 9 carries. Come on, man. Run the ball. I am so sick of every week in these videos telling you to run the ball. Run the ball! And that's all.